if you're a business owner and you don't really have a plan on how you're going to sell your business, how you're going to transition, or what I would call a succession plan onto either your family or new leadership, but still keep the entity intact and not actually officially sell it, through M&A, probably a good idea to stay tuned and listen. So at the end of the day, it's almost like people that, know they're sick and there's something wrong with their body, but they don't take action. That's the way I view having a plan for your business. And really what we need to do as business owners and leaders is have succession plans or a plan to sell. And we should be working on that right now. We should be making sure that we're on pace. If we think, in 5 years, we're going to want to make a move. In 10 years, we're going to want to make a move. And here's the real kicker. You might have a situation where, you didn't have control over the move. You get deathly sick. You actually do pass away. All these things. So if you run your own business and you don't have a succession plan and you don't have a person that can take on the responsibilities of daily activities if something bad happened to you, that's a real scary place to sit. It's a lot of pressure. Doesn't leave your family in the best of position. So, it's really important to not treat it like someone who feels ill but never goes to the doctor. Your business is going to have to get sold, or it's going to have to get transitioned, or it's just going to get shut down. So sold, transitioned, shut down. What do you want to happen? For me, my goals are to purchase businesses that I don't want to sell, but I want to transition to either the leadership inside the business, my family. I don't really want to get in the mode to, buy businesses, pump them up, and sell them. I want a longer term relationship with the employees and the value the company brings to society. But at the end of the day, the choice should be made. You should know what your goals are, and you should be working towards them. So if you find that most things in your business need you to make it happen, or when things get out of hand, you always have to swoop in to fix it, or every client that's a big client for the company needs to talk to you, you really need to get out of that mode, because the company's not going to live on well without you. It does, as a human being, feel good to be needed, and it makes you feel important, makes you feel like you're really bringing value to the business. But at the end of the day, you're actually devaluating the business for a sale. You are you're making the business less the foundation of the business less stout. The business just needs you to operate, which is a very bad place for you and your stress level, and your team, your customers, your vendors, everyone who relies on you to keep all that stuff moving, is not really as in a comfortable position if everybody views you as the glue and what needs to be there to make the business run. People often make the mistake of thinking that their business is worth something when they're actually working for it every day, and they're in this position of leadership that is irreplaceable. And really, it almost makes your business not saleable. I've been reading a new book. It's called Build to Sell. I've been reading it so that I can figure out how to build businesses, not to sell, but to get my time out of them. So I'm not going to necessarily sell a business, but my goal is to no longer sell my time to the business. And so this is a great book because really its goal is to actually build the business so that it can be sold. In order to sell a business to a typical person who wants to buy a business, you have to have it operate and sustain and have processes in place that you don't have to be part of because you can't exit. And if you do have a business where you're involved with all that and you really do want to sell and you just jump after it, a lot of times you get some type of contract that's 2 to 3 years, and those contracts are very tough because you'll go through a transition in that period of time where you were the person who owned the business, made all the decisions, you knew what was happening, you didn't need approval from anybody. Now someone else has given you some type of money up front, which is a lot less than you wanted to sell the business for. You then work for the business for 2 to 3 years with expectations to hit whatever thresholds were agreed upon during the purchase agreement. And what happens with that is you don't have control anymore to make the decisions you want to make. You have to get approval. You have to convince new ownership. And a lot of times that becomes, a very miserable end to your business. You're probably ready just to get out of it. You end up just folding over whatever conditions there are, and the new company ends up with your business for a fraction of what you could have sold it for if you actually had built it to, be sustainable without you, have a good foundation, good management team, and so on and so forth. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there because this book I'm reading is really awesome. It's teaching me, some concepts I didn't understand, or it's highlighting some things I already knew, but talking about them in greater detail. And so you should have a plan. When you're buying a business, you should have an exit plan. So, think about that. And if you don't have one, it's like cancer. It's going to sneak up on you. If you know there's something wrong with you, all of a sudden one day, your business is going to crash. Everyone who works for you is no longer maybe going to have a source of income because you were the one thing that kept the business going, and now you're gone for whatever reason, and all the people who depended on you, including customers, vendors, employees, they no longer have you there, and they all have to figure out a different solution. That's not a fun position. That's not fun to have rest on your conscience. So my suggestion would be to make sure you get after succession planning or your plan to sell, which is really the same topic, just different. I use succession planning because I don't plan to ever really lose equity in the companies and just wanted to take away daily operation. So hope this helps somebody. Have a great day.